Hi everyone, and welcome to Teresa Ivanore's Coloring Community here on YouTube and in Facebook. I just wanted to introduce my volumes that are currently available through Amazon or the electronic version, the PDF files, through our Facebook group. As many of you know, I do have several books available. The first two being volumes 1 and 2, and they are for the Prismacolor collection. And I just wanted to go through them here for you to show you what they're all about. Now, many people have commented that they are quite expensive, and they are, in fact, because they're being printed through Amazon. They are an expensive process. So I do appreciate the fact that they are difficult, but it will be a valuable investment for you going forward. Now, the PDF electronic versions are definitely much cheaper, and you can order them directly through myself, through our Facebook group, by sending me a private message. So just so you are familiar with my volumes, Volume 1 and Volume 2 are specifically for Prismacolor premieres and some of the Scholar combinations. So in Volume 1, I'll go through that quickly with you, and then I'll go through Volume 2 for you and show you how they're laid out. Now, when you're seeing any of my original or my older versions of my files or resources, you may see that I have written out pencil crayons. I am Canadian, so I was brought up and grew up on the saying pencil crayons through all of grade school and high school, and you name it. When I started coloring a few years ago, it took me quite some time to get used to saying colored pencils. So whenever you see pencil crayons, you know that that means colored pencils. So let's crack open Volume 1. Volume 1 is just color combinations that you can use for anything that you want. It just helps lay them all out at a glance so that you see them and they're readily available. So when you open it up, it's just a little preamble, just thanking you for your support and how the book works. When you go to the beginning of the book, you're going to see on here, let me turn it here so you can see a bit more, that half the book is colored, half the book is black and white. Because the printing capabilities through any type of printing manufacturer, it's not going to give you the true color when you print it. So on here are the colors of the pencils. You can go ahead and color them on this side. Now, as I've previously mentioned in a few of my other videos, I have 2 ovals per color, or 2 squares or 2 circles. You'll see them throughout different swatches. These ones I have 2 because the first column is a light pressure, and the second column, or the second oval, is heavy pressure. So it gives you an idea where you can see the difference in colors. So all of the Prismas are in here, and they go basically in color order. Now, when I first started coloring quite a few years ago, I started with Crayola. I went from Crayola to Crazy Art to the Super Tips, and then I jumped right into Prismacolor. Now, because of my, I always call it OCD, but it's not OCD. It's the obsessive compulsive personality, where I need to have everything set in front of me in color order and organized so that it's easy for me to not stress out about it and be able to pull up my pencils or my media and just enjoy coloring. So when I started with Prismacolor, I started with the Premieres and the Scholars, both sets. So initially, when you are either in my files section in the Facebook group or in this volume particularly, you will see that in my list, I have both PC and PCS. PC is the Prisma Premieres, and the PCS is the Prisma Scholars. So you'll see that difference in here. But as you know, I number all my media. So my media, when I first owned my very first set of the Prisma Premier and the Scholars, I did them in number order of 1 to 209. So yes, Prismacolor Premiers, there's only 150. And the Scholars, there's a 60 set maximum, but it's really only 58 because there's 2 white and 2 black, just so you know. That little trick in there is there. So if you go through them, you'll see my numbers in here, the PC or PCS number, which is the model number of the actual color, the colors being swatched, and the actual name of the color. So it's not something that's difficult to follow along, especially if you're not going to use my numbering system for these. Okay. So the first thing that you should do when you do order this book, or if you already have it and you just haven't done it yet, swatch your pencils, because then you're going to see the difference between a true accurate color in person versus the printed version. Okay. So that's what is at the beginning of the book. Then you go into a little mini version of a color wheel. Now I've laid it out differently because I didn't want to say that it's a true color wheel, because it's not a true color wheel. All it's doing is allowing you to have in here various ideas of different colors to use. So it has the colors of the color wheel. So red, orange, 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 yellow, green, green, red, violet, blue, and blue, green. But if you look across and go through this way along the rows, and they're all numbered 1 through 6, if you follow along each way, you will see in here that you can use these colors and they'll look wonderful together. That is what that is. It's giving you a basic head start on color theory and giving you an idea of what you can use. So it's not round, it's square. It's hip to be square. So then you flip it over and you've got some more. Oh, and let me go back quickly again. Sorry, I apologize. Just because this is in here, it gives you a blank template as well for you to go ahead and still do the same thing, and you can color it in as well so that you see your true color for your artwork when you get to it. So then in here, you have a few pages of some color combinations put together and how they're mixed together. Same thing, it's mirrored on one side over here for you to practice and get that kind of a tone or a design so that it's ready for your artwork. So that's the beginning of that. Then there are some spheres that I put in, and same thing, you'll have the opportunity to color them and practice. Then I go into hearts just because I was getting tired of spheres, give you a little bit of, you know, a variety. So you've got the same thing here. If you want to mirror this or try a different way, instead of putting those colors together on that heart, but use those colors and just put them in a different order, that's totally up to you. It is there for you to practice and have plenty of room to make notes in between and say, I followed that, or I did mine different. I started from the middle instead of throughout. So it goes through and you've got tons and tons. I believe there's over 875 different color combinations in here, including some original, unique ones that you may never have thought that you'd like to try. For example, let's say you've never used your marine green pencil. Well, when you blend it together, it might look good with these other colors. So take a look, see, play around. That's the whole point of trying to bring out your inner artistic talent. So then I go from the yellow, or sorry, from the hearts to small little round circles. Now the round circles at the back is a section of all different types of color combinations, but there's only 2 colors in the little round. I call them my little round dudes, because these little round dudes, have you ever had those pages like the Joanna Basford where you cannot put more than 2 colors in a shape or a leaf or a flower petal? These help you immensely because it gives you the ideas of different ways of using those colors. Like, would you ever think that those gray and that color would go good together? So it breaks it all down for you. And like I said, it's at a glance. So all you have to do is flip through the pages and say, oh, wait, I really like that one. Let me use that one on my next one. And it goes through all of them, right from the yellows right to the grays. Then, of course, because you don't want to have a gazillion different places for all of your ideas and colors and notes. You've got sections in the back of the book, plenty of pages that you can mark your own color combinations. Or if you found one that you really, really like and it's not in my book, go ahead, mark it in here so that you have it at your fingertips going forward. So that is volume 1. Now at the back of the book, for those of you that are members of my Facebook group, you know that we use color combination worksheets for all of our art because it allows you to mark exactly the colors you are using for any type of artwork that you're working on, so that 6 months down the road, if you want to go and see how you're doing, or you want to use a color that you used before in another piece of paper or a piece of art and you couldn't remember what it was, you can look at a glance for those. So I have a few of those sheets at the back of the book to help you practice, and it just helps you get into that routine of keeping track of what you used for your art. So that is volume 1. 800, I believe it was 875 different combinations in there, okay? So now for volume 2, I think there's over 800 on this one, but this one is totally different than this one. Doesn't mean that the combinations are not duplicated. It's a possibility, but it helps give you some ideas on colors to use for different types of objects. So the same thing in this one, you have, again, the swatch in the front. Now, if you are an owner of both books or both volumes, 1 and 2, you don't need to swatch both of them. It's just to give yourself an idea. But in here, I don't want to get too close because it's not fair to those who have purchased it. You will see in this book that on here I have colored a side and there's a blank side with the color combination for you to practice and see what the true color is to paper. Now, granted, we all know how Amazon prints on the Create Space paper. I don't have control over what kind of paper quality to purchase or to order for the books. So that is another option why the PDFs are available for you to order through me in case you would like to print it on proper mixed media paper or whatnot. Now I'm just going to go and do a flip through this, and you'll see that there's flowers, there's lilies, there's leaves, there's eyes, there's butterflies. Let me go further back. Stone, skin, ribbons and bows, lips, lipstick, leaves, maple leaves. So there's tons and tons of different options and suggestions for you. Look at, there's over 100 different hair samples to use. There's so much in here, and it is broken down by sections. So you'll see in front, it'll have a title page, flowers, for the color combinations, but that doesn't mean you're restricted. You don't need to use just that color combination for flowers. You may want to use it for something else. You may want to use it for, let's say you're doing a dress for a doll or a person's outfit. You can use it for whatever, but it gives you an idea when you're looking at this that, wow, I like that rose, I want to use that color. Or no, you know what, that one's going to look good with my let's say my shoes that are going to match my purple dress or something. You be creative. It's just giving you an idea of what and where and how to use different kinds of color combinations. So you've got tons and tons of resources in here. And like I said, one side's colored, the other side is black and white, allowing you to color them. If you are a member of my Facebook group, you will definitely see different swatch templates available in the files section. You are more than welcome to print those off and practice and share your ideas. We have lots of members who have printed off a lot of the swatch sheets that are available in there and have practiced different color combinations, and they're stored in the album section. So have a good browse through both the file section and the album section and familiarize yourself with what's in there, because those two resource spots are invaluable to many, and you can ask many members what they think of the different files that are available, how they use them, if they've even tried them, or they're there to help. And so am I. I am working on a current volume 7, and I'll go through that hopefully in the next few days when my throat feels a little bit better, to do some more videos, and I'll give you a sneak peek of what that's looking like, because that's coming along really nice. So in a nutshell, 1 and 2, Prismacolors, Premieres, and Scholars. Any questions, feel free to ask us in our Facebook group, and we will certainly help you. Everyone have a wonderful day and enjoy your coloring, and I look forward to seeing your art. Take care.